Bong bong.
Bong bong.
Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, everybody. Boy, what a good show we got
Something else this show, isn't it?
today.
Sorry for everyone that's watching, because now you have to just listen to Cope and I instead of listening to ARP's well-articulated words.
Holy shit, ARP is wow. I mean, like I worked with them a bit, obviously in the IJC, and just you know, top class, um, just communicative, professional, honest, just like all the good things. He's embodying the name of his company. He's a rare breed, I find.
100%. For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, right off the start of the show here, we did an AMA with ARP this morning. It was very early, so if you haven't seen that, after the show, go watch it, because he dropped gem after gem.
It was really special, and like definitely the best AMA we've had so far. I saw people on the subreddit commenting that the formatting was really nice, which is nice.
Yeah,
so it's nice. It's nice to be nice.
Friend of the show, ARP. Welcome back whenever.
Facts. We got to get him to do a co-host with us. That'd be fun.
That'd be crazy.
To take him on the roller coaster ride that is the Bodycast. You don't know what's gonna happen.
You talking about this show?
This show,
what's gonna happen this show.
Oh my god, this show is gonna be so good. You have no idea. So welcome one and all to the Bodycast. 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. This is the official podcast for the subreddit r/rap battles. My name's Copacetic, and with me, as always,
Pathogenic.
Bong Bong, the well-esteemed international. Did you see that when we were bigging up? Oh my god, I'm blanking. Neckbone in the last episode, and he posted, and he was like, international battle rap star, Pathogenic, and the guy from Vancouver. Really liked my performance. And I was like, yes, he knows my name. What's up? Yo, so this day is great. This day is
great.
It's a good start. R/rap battles is, of course, the largest online forum for the international culture of battle rap. You can find us on Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, and on the official Discord server. It's all in the links below. It's the only place for fans to go for battle rap news from around the globe. Man, we're just happy to have you here.
Yeah.
KOTD vet. I think I have to have more than 2 KOTD battles to be a KOTD vet, but I'll take it. I'm not going to fucking argue with you. Yeah, so thank you, obviously, for being here, Polly and Red Wolf, and everybody else watching at home or watching on the playback. You're tuned into this show because this show is about the culture of battle rap around the world. It's not just like limited to 1 or 2 leagues. We're talking about everything, and you care because you are a very cultured person. You're very knowledgeable. You're looking for that content that is on a higher level. It's gonna give you more information about what's happening on a much bigger scale because you're a bigger person in here, not physically, but maybe I don't know.
I'm just gonna jump in here and say that the people that are watching this are the same as explorers back in the good old days that were looking for more from the world itself, and you're gonna find it here. You're going to explore and you're going to find battle rap in places you never thought you'd find it.
We're going to learn so much.
Right here. That's where you're going to find it.
I fucked that up. So to do that, what you have to do, obviously, to be united and in alignment with your fellow explorers.
Yeah.
Well, we need to take it up a notch. We need to really bring it home, bring it on in. For the real thing.
Yeah.
And if you were to do that, how would you do that, Pat?
I might do that with a community cheers that I did not come up with a rhyme for. So...
Yes, I thought you had one there.
Nope, definitely not.
The running joke is going to be that we're never prepared for the community cheers. So freestyling is fun. Something that you might do over beers.
And in the meantime, when you do a few, you'll have community cheers.
Community cheers. Hey, cheers to everybody. Oh yeah. Just hydrated, refreshed. I feel like we all did it at the same time. Community cheers all done at the same time has a special effect. You know, you think about it globally, you know, all the time zones that are being affected. It's magic. It's very magic.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So the show today, I mean, really, it's been, let's be real, it's been slow. It was a slow week. But we're going to make up for that by talking about the very few things that did happen or are happening this week.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on. I mean, if we start in Canada, for example, we've got the Beast Mode event happening this Saturday, Genocide. Which was
war crimes,
appropriately named. Sorry, you're right. War crimes. There's a subtext there that not many people know about, but is really on point. Genocide is battling in it.
Yes.
So I got that wrong. But friend of the show, Wise Guy, is going to be out there battling T-dubs.
As is Polyfree as well.
Hey, Polyfree's on that card. Very cool. And Quadray's on that card. Genocide, war crimes, fast bullets. I don't know what the names. Beast Mode. It's all violence, right? It's dope. I love it. Big fan. Yeah, it was close. But yeah, that's a huge card. It's for Canada. I mean, not a huge card for Canada, but a fun card for Canada.
Yes.
Card.
Yeah.
There's lots of implications for sure.
Yep. And last night, something we forgot to talk about last week. We would have remembered if Verse Tracker was up.
Yeah, for real. That's whack.
But
somebody email MC War, get that shit figured out.
Facts.
Tweet at MC War. Sorry.
Last night, iBattle had their Norm event.
Norm.
Night of rescheduled main events.
Amazing.
So we could have talked about that last week and didn't. And unfortunately, now all of these battles happened and we haven't seen them. So we can't even talk about how they were. But
right.
If you're wanting to see some content from iBattle in the States, hop on the Battlerap and go check it out. Red Flag and JR, Knox and Mike P.
Homeschool versus Dunch.
It didn't happen. That didn't go down last night. Rescheduled once again.
It'll be on the Norm 2.
Norm 2, yeah. Yeah, so lots of great content from iBattle as well.
Cool, check them out. And then the other thing, a small thing, you might have heard if you were listening to the AMA, is ARP revealed he broke the news. I don't know if it's been broken previously. Maybe it was broken on our show. I'd like to believe it was. Let's not fact check that. That the KOTD event is coming soon. Like Organic called him, said, hey, you know, these dates, this is what the dates that we're looking at, blah, 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 blah. I could be misquoting him. But the news there is that the KOTD is happening soon. So keep an eye.
Yeah. And I think that it's not necessarily like broke news, but he had put on Twitter the last couple days. I think there was a couple of video tweets.
True.
What looked to be a venue, and everyone was very excited about that. So
fuck yeah. Really cool. Really exciting for the Pat Stay Memorial event in Toronto. It makes sense, you know, when you think about it. Like, I know that when it was first announced, or when there were first discussion about having some sort of memorial event, it was about, you know, can we coordinate everybody, all the leagues, all the different players, because he's such an important figure in battle rap culture, and he's touched so many different platforms and so many different people, that it would be, you know, it would be kind of like, I don't know, not good enough to be only KOTD, to just be it has to be all of us, right?
It's a celebration of life and of the things that Pat did, and Pat was on all of these leagues,
right?
And so in order to
celebrate everybody,
in order to celebrate him to the fullest, all have to be involved. That's I imagine the first thought.
For sure. And totally makes sense. You know, I mean, just a huge person and personality, and with all that said, having it be on King of the Dot, having it be a King of the Dot event in Toronto, it also really just makes sense too. It feels like, where most people heard about Pat's Day, or, as ARP was saying, that's really what you think about where Pat State's from. It's synonymous with King of the Dot, and they're huge events in Toronto.
Yeah,
So
the legacy lives on through, what he's best known for, something of that nature. So
for real, I'm really curious to see what happens. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I remember when the news was sort of first coming out that Ganek was talking about hypothetically having the memorial event in Nova Scotia.
Right.
But I think the idea of the event itself has shifted and changed to also supporting Pat's family. And I feel like you're going to be able to drum up more support for them through Toronto than you might through
exactly
Nova Scotia. So
right, totally. So there's a couple of threads that were up, and King of the Dot made a post about which battlers absolutely need to be on the Pat Stay Memorial card. As soon as Organic announced that there was going to be a memorial card, there was a discussion thread, and then also the discussion thread about Holohan actually coming out of retirement to battle. And I imagine there are lots of people who would make the extra effort for this special event, because it's just that important. So really interesting. I don't know, what kind of matches do you think they need to have? Like, when you think about it, say you're in the room with Gully and Ganek, and you're like, okay, guys, everybody wants to be on this card. Literally everybody wants to show out and pay their respects. So you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Yep. I think having Holohan back, if he can, for that would be huge. I think that's the number one battler that you want to be on it. Whatever that matchup ends up being, I think that it would be very impactful. I think that if there was ever a time for Diz and Sharon.
True. Wow, that's a good one.
I think that this would be the time for it, right? I mean, we're talking about the relationship with Diz and Pat, the relationship with Sharon and Pat, and then obviously the history of that battle being drummed up and it being wanted by so many people for so long. It almost makes sense, right, for them to finally have it there for him for that.
Totally.
So I think that's one that you got to try and work that out if Sharon and Diz can make it work.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's huge. I think a lot of people were sort of going into their best battles of all time wish list, battles that haven't happened, bag, and that's definitely one of them on there. I know another one is Thesaurus and Ilmac versus Marlowe and Shuffle T, but obviously, that's tough to do because you haven't seen Thesaurus and Ilmac team up in a long, long time.
Yeah.
So, some of these might just be out of the realm of possibility. But
yeah, and then you think to yourself too, maybe is a title match held? Obviously, because the title being such a big part of what Pat did for King of the Dot, is it fitting or not fitting to have a title match of real deal battles?
And I think, I'm just going to jump on fitting, and who better? Because if you think about real deal, he's the kind of person, he's the kind of champ who would take on the responsibility of defending at the Pat Stay Memorial. This is packed with meaning. That battle, whoever it is. I don't even know who's in line for a KOTD title shot.
That's the thing, right? I don't know if there's been one. Oh, I guess Bill Collector.
Yeah, I don't know. Does he want that?
That would be the big thing. Is it something that he wants?
Right. Pass as well as somebody whose name was mentioned a lot before for a shot. But then, GTX and stuff like that, does Pass really care? Does he, all those people who were in line, are they still in line, or is there a succession? A Ward, that's a rematch. But does A Ward want to be the KOTD champ? I don't know.
That's one of those dream matches that I think it's been long enough that it's acceptable to do. Additionally, though, too, something to think about, which just popped into my head, is I think that this would also be, if Real Deal were to battle and defend it again, this would be him surpassing Pat's record of the amount of times that it was defended. So there's like a ton of overall meaning if it were to happen. Obviously, we're not talking about a battle that is locked, that it is happening. We're talking about a hypothetical situation here where this is something that could be.
Yeah. So, I don't know who the matchup would be. I think that would be the toughest thing is,
Yeah.
The thing is too, right, is like when we talk about the return of KOTD, the last battle was Bill and Pass in the finals, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was the last battle that King of the Dot has done, and that was early this year, I want to say.
Yeah.
March.
Yeah, either February or March.
Yeah, it's just super, super early in the year. It's just been really quiet, and like fair enough, the laws of Canada just haven't allowed for us to be able to throw events and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, so much going on. It's just COVID really hit the live entertainment community really hard, and especially in Canada where there are very restrictive measures in place, not allowing certain battlers to come up, or for us to throw even events that are sizable. So yeah, really just, the future of KOTD is there's a big question, like there's no GZ anymore. So there's no real talent development infrastructure at this stage. And there's the deal with Twitch, but obviously for an event of this magnitude, you'd want to do pay-per-view. I don't imagine that this one's just going to be for free. But then do you go back to the season, with GTX, like what does that look like? Are we going back to, events in Canada, dominating Canada? There's lots of implications.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's sort of, I think that if it was me that was in the position where I had any say on anything, I think that looking out at the future of what King of the Dot could be and could bring to the table right now, all the different avenues to go, they're all muddy. It's all a matter of extreme planning. And I think that sitting back and focusing on this Pat's Day memorial event and getting that to where they want it to be for him, for his family, and making sure that that is a success is the number one priority, and that everything else is on the back burner and will get dealt with and decided at a later date.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that that's fine. And I think that everyone in Canada is fine with that as well.
Yeah.
It's not to say that without King of the Dot, there isn't any battle events happening in Canada. There's Beast Mode. There's
for sure, but it's different. I mean,
it's very different.
It's so different, and we have the experience of that. Like, I mean, new battle fans maybe aren't as aware of how big of a shift that was when KOTD stopped doing events in Canada, just the last few years, and what it's like to be, really, I don't know, really focused on the development side of things, really focused on the local league side of things. Just fun, has its own merits and value, but it's such a world of difference when, I assume similarly to when Don't Flop first had their collapse, is that you've got all these guys who are used to battling on this big platform in front of these big crowds, and all of a sudden, boom, 50 leagues now, and you're battling for 12 people, and it's like the beginning of the internet. I wonder which search engine is going to win. It was Premier, and who'd have thought it? But yeah, like King of the Dot coming back sort of sets the table again. It's like, okay, hey, if you really want to be a part of this battle rap movement, there's an avenue for you here. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's somewhere where you can go, where you can actually turn this into something bigger based on your talents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, someone like you is kind of like the perfect person for this example, right?
Hello.
Hey, if I were to speak as if you weren't here right now, I'd say, a guy like Pathogenic, who's like, people recognize that you have a special talent for this, and that you're just like, you're very good at it in a way that should be elevated, should be on like the big cards, should be getting you matches in the States and overseas and stuff like that. And without that platform, there isn't really an avenue for people like you to get that attention or to be promoted. And we don't even know if the plan is for Yannick to invest in Canadian talent, because he's done a pretty good job of, marketing the American talent with a last season, and just being generally a North American and even UK guy. Like, he's not specifically a Canadian talent platform or league or anything like that. It's, so if he doesn't feel obligated to put Canadian talent on the cards, then it's like sort of like, well, that's a business decision. That's totally fair.
Yeah. I mean, I don't foresee him not booking Canadian talent or developing them in some form or some way, because at the end of the day, I feel that his development of talent is so great. He does such a fantastic job of it. The whole King of the Dot team that's over there, including Gully and the rest of the Wave Boys with Rigo and Nate, etc. I feel like the last year in the development of the UK talent as well as the American talent was only because of COVID. So it wasn't necessarily that it's a better business move to do that. I feel like you're just playing with the cards that you can be dealt. And those were the only cards available. And now that there are all the cards available on the table, I foresee all of them being used. I don't think that Canada's going to get pushed to the side. I don't think UK is going to get pushed to the side. I don't think any of them are going to take a step back. I feel that it's going to be just the same thing, but with new players added to it.
I wonder, because I'll be, just be frank. I think it was really hard for a lot of the talent in Vancouver when it was like suddenly off the table. We got guys who are just not interested anymore, and it's like, the GZ infrastructure, for whatever it was, got a lot of flack, got a lot of negativity, but produced some great battlers and was really good at, providing that pipeline. And so if they come up with something else, I mean, I'm sure they will, some other means of helping build and develop talent, that would be dope. But if it's also a thing where they just let the independent leagues just build the talent and develop it for them, I mean, maybe that's an avenue he goes in, but I don't know. It's like GZ and PY were a big deal. I don't know if they get the attention, the respect that they deserve, because they were such an important part of attracting talent. And that's the biggest thing. It's like, building talent is one thing, but if people don't know that they can do that, then if they don't know that they can get on the big cards if they work hard, then, like, how do you get them on the small leagues?
I mean, that's the tough thing about it, about everything regarding talent development, I would say. Right when I started battling, it was just on a small league, on a local league. And I had no idea about PY or GZ even existing. Right? Like, here, story time. You ready for this story? So I start battling in January of 2019. I have my first battle then. I have my next one in March. Then I have one in April and in May. And what happened at that point, these are all on the small local league. And at that point, I get a message saying, hey, somebody pulled out of the King of the Dot event in Vancouver, and is there a chance that you could be on that? They're thinking you versus Shine 9 on the King of the Dot card. And immediately I go, of course. The chance to be on King of the Dot. This is crazy. So I'm telling work, I say, hey, I got to have this time off. I know you weren't expecting to give me time off 3 months in a row, but this is my opportunity to be on King of the Dot. And so I go and do that. This whole time, I have no idea. As a new battler, I have no idea that there's multiple levels to King of the Dot.
Oh, shit, really?
I have no clue. So in my brain, when I hear you're on King of the Dot, I'm like, holy fuck, this is it. This is my moment.
Did you say, what the fuck is Shine 9?
I did say that. I just searched and watched all the stuff, but I was like, I have no idea that that's what it was like. Right. So I don't understand, as a new battler, as new to the scene, I don't understand how that works in the first place. You know, I'm not thinking I want to be on King of the Dot. I got to go through these different tiers. In my brain, it was, I'm on a small league and starting. And so I have to go through the tiers of just the battle world itself. And so I feel that anyone that has any talent when it comes to Battlerap or wants to work hard can succeed and get to that platform regardless of whether you know that there's the tier levels to King of the Dot, you know, whether you look at it and go, oh yeah, okay, I got to do a PY. Now I got to be at a GZ, and then I get to be at the, you know, the main page, and then to the main stage for the big pay-per-view events. You know, there's distinct levels to it. And in my brain, when I'm starting out, I'm going, I just got to do good enough that I get to them at all.
Yeah. But then you think about it, and it's like, that doesn't happen without KOTD Vancouver, right? I mean, you know, like if I'm not throwing that event, then I don't have a guy who backs out, and I don't need you to come in and battle Shine 9. And it's like, you know, without that call, who knows how your career goes? I'm sure your career would have been fine. But it was a big deal. It was like when you came on, and I remember what happened too. I was like, oh, okay, another battle. Oh, some guy from Alberta. Cool. Good stuff. Let's go. It's going to be great. And I was like, I'm going to go to the bar and get a beer. And then you were like, cut the handshakes like blood brothers. And I was like, what's going on now? It's like, oh shit, that's a bar. What happened here? And I started watching it. I was like, oh fuck. Oh, hey, you got one. Oh shit, you got a guy. Damn, was not expecting that. And like, how many times has that happened over the years to promoters who are throwing events and they just did not know that, you know, from guys from wherever are coming out and have the potential to actually be on those big stages and stuff like that. It's just like, you know, man, I don't know what would happen if there wasn't a system for that. Like, it was such an important part. It may have been an afterthought to King of the Dot in Toronto, but it's a huge part of like Vancouver battle rap and our history in the city, and even the hip hop history in our city, you know? So yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those things where I know that they're in tune with the culture in Canada as well. And that even if you make a little noise on your local league and that word gets to them, because that all happened.
But I never heard of you.
You hadn't.
No, but I was booking. Right, that's sort of the point I was making. Is like you'd done a few battles before, right? At least I think you went into beast mode. Yeah, okay. So
I hadn't gone to beast mode yet.
Oh, okay, but you'd had some footage out, and I'd never heard of you, and so like I guess that's it. What I was trying to say is it's just like,
I see.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, who's to say what the future holds? Because, you know, that was so big. I remember when it dropped, it was like, yo, I know it's a PY. Everybody's like, I know it's a PY, but you got to watch this guy. And it was like, really, there was a lot of momentum behind you after that, I felt like.
Yeah. And I think that I still feel that there is that opportunity for newer battlers to have that on their own local leagues. I feel like it's a lot more work without having the PY and the GZ system and structure in place. It's going to take a lot more, but I don't want like newer battlers to feel like, oh, without the PY or the GZ, we're stuck. Yeah. We'll always be little leaguers. You know what I mean? I still feel
smaller leagues. You're right. That's a good point. And the smaller leagues are a lot more competent now too. Like just with social media and clipping battles, like that never used to be a thing. And now, I mean, Quadre is a great example. There are people all over the world who are tuned into Quadre's debut battle because he's, done a great job promoting himself and he's really integrated in the culture like that. So yeah, no, I get your point. And I think that definitely times have changed. And I hope that's true because I love the fact that Canada competes on the international level like that.
Yeah. And this is, I also want to clarify, this is not me saying that, yeah, there's no need for a PY or GC or newer talent development infrastructure for King of the Dot. I feel that is still very integral to the brand and to how they work that. I just feel like it's not that, like, I don't want to say that you have to have it 100% to ever find talent in Canada again.
Right. I'm sure that they'll probably come up with some other systems too. Like
I think so too.
I have no doubt that
they've been running it long enough.
For real. Very focused on how how everything's going to change because of what COVID did and the Twitch deal and everything like that. I just imagine that the whole paradigm has shifted in a way that will allow for new methods of development and new strategies. And it's like you said, focus on the Pat's Day event and then see what happens. But
yeah,
exciting time for Battlerap in Canada. KOTD coming back, all these other leagues popping up and doing well, building their bases. So
yeah, 100%. Very excited. Stay tuned, y'all.
For real. Yeah, I don't know about this Pat's Day event. Pat, user Yu Ogabe, says Pat publicly said that he was a New Jersey twerk fan. So consider that. Do you think though they can break Smack contracts? Do you think they can break URL contracts to come and do this event? That would be like a terrible thing for Smack to be like, actually, no, you can't do the Pat's Day event, memorial event. Like, I don't know, what's a contract in the face of something as important as this?
So if I was a betting man, and if I was looking at this strategically from a business standpoint, in Smack's shoes and in Organic's shoes. So we look at that and we say, okay, we want to do this for Pat. Pat is a huge fan of insert URL battler's name here. So I feel that if you want him on that card, then Organic would reach out to Smack and say, hey, we're doing the Pat's Day tribute event. We would want to do this for Pat and have a URL battler on there. Is it possible to make that work regarding the contract? And at that point, I think an agreement has to be made between the two of them. Obviously, it would be behind closed doors because you're right. It'd look very bad if, this offer gets put out and there's a public response back that's like, yeah, no. So yeah. in the best, if I was in the best case scenario, I would say that Smack would probably let it happen if that footage were to come out on URL. Right?
Like depending on where the footage went.
Exactly. There's an agreement that gets made that says, okay, yes, we have this battler on that card for that event, but it comes out on the URL app. There might be something in that regard that gets put into works, if that's the direction that it's being taken in.
Yeah, true. That's true. It's a negotiation. It's straight up and down. Like as much as I'm sure Smack loves Pat and wants to contribute to this event. It's like, yeah, he's running a business, and wouldn't be surprised if there were business decisions that needed to be made, considering how much they've invested in promoting their talent, for their talent to just go to the immediate competitor. Yeah. It's really interesting. I mean, because the thing is too, right, is by promoting all this talent the last few years, while KOTD's been unable to throw events outside of the season, um, they've really built a lot of fans, and like they've built um, a lot of momentum behind
Yeah.
all of their guys. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. KOTD card, URL card. Um, I'm curious to see like the British guys that they get out. You know, you going for the old school British guys who like have a history with Pat and a connection to Pat, or is it we're going to see a crop of new guys? You know, newer talented guys. Um, Fuck, I don't know, man.
I think the biggest and the thing that I'm most excited to see is what is the entire scope of the event.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back in the time where pay-per-views were happening, there was the main card on the one day and there was a GZ day after.
Right.
And so without the GZ, you know, channel necessarily happening, but maybe is it still going to be a 2-day card? Are you still going to have the main day, which is, you know, where you bring out the top tier talent, the big pull sort of guys, and then on day 2, it's still a big day, but there isn't as high tier battlers on it. What the scope of that's going to be, or if it's 2 straight days of full big name matchups. There's so many things that could play out regarding this event. It's really exciting.
Yeah, and that's another thing that you're totally right about the second day GZ stuff. Is it sort of allowed for a little bit more flexibility? You know, I mean, like you could have, flexibility, I guess, with the main card. Like it's a huge event, and obviously, you know, it's a hugely significant event. But all of those first day names have got to be pay-per-view draws as well, because it's this business. You got to be able to sell the pay-per-view. So, you know, with the GZ day, you can have more, I don't know, more internationals. Feels like less guys who are directly in the limelight of American battle rap.
Yeah, and I mean, and you got to think about it in the sense of the goal of this isn't about making money for King of the Dot. The goal of this is to make money for Pat's family.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to sell as many pay-per-views as possible, but for them.
Right.
So you
right.
want as much draw so that is getting purchased as possible.
Right. Exactly. If you have a choice between, you know, somebody who has a long history with Pat's Day, but no pay-per-view draw versus conceded, probably should put conceded on the card.
Yeah. And that's why if we're going to go all the way back to why I want to see Holohan on this card so much, because I guarantee you that he is the best of both worlds in that regard.
True.
The return of him coming back, his connection with Pat, the fact that everyone wants to see it. You're going to get a ton of pay-per-view draws off that if it does end up happening.
Yeah, that's wild. So. That's crazy. I mean, you know, is this something that Solcon sees himself on? He's sort of back now, isn't he? I mean,
I don't know.
He's doing iBattle in December. He's battled Disaster on King of the Dot for their Town Business 2.
Yeah.
Business. And like he was tweeting about it when they were talking about the past day event. So like, you know, that's another person who was from the way back. Who could be a big pay-per-view draw.
Yeah. Dumbfounded.
Ooh, Dumbfounded is a good name.
And there was speculation that he was in line to return on the Blackout event that was getting planned way back before COVID.
Man, I had tickets for that. Oh, brutal. I had plane tickets for that. That was devastating. What a amazing event that would have been, probably, maybe.
So it's one of those things where there's a lot of avenues here. And that's why it's exciting also to see Gannick putting up tweets of venues and things like that, because those are those beginning steps where once those are in place, now it's just about booking all of these battles. And I'm sure that they've probably already been setting some up in the meantime as well, but it looks like everything's falling into place for this to be as big as it needs to.
Yeah, there's a lot of momentum. There's a lot of energy, just mental energy towards this being a very respectful and significant event for the battle rap culture in our coming together, in our healing, and our paying homage to the GOAT. Oh boy, stay tuned because we will have news on all of the updates. Can kind of say close to the people who are making these decisions, so can definitely give you updates that I'm allowed to give you. And yeah, I mean,
him, not me. I have no fucking clue. For anyone that's watching that thinks, oh, I want to know about King of the Dot, don't send me a message and ask me because I have no clue what's going on.
I know shit, and I'm just not allowed to say it, and so that's totally useless as well. But I mean, maybe I'll fuck up and say something. So definitely stay tuned.
I will definitely stop you before you do that.
Yeah. Delete the episode. Something else I wanted to talk about, if we could, is to cross the sea, go across the sea, away from Canada. Goodbye, Canada, and travel to a place doesn't get very much attention right now, but boy, are they cooking. I feel like Battlerap Africa, and if you follow them on Instagram and Word on the Streets, the Battlerap League in Nigeria, they've just been very productive. Just lots of like ciphers and like rap events and like music and battles, and it feels like okay, now they're really coming into their own here, starting to produce on a regular basis, posting regularly. There's an event this weekend, Bars Are Back 3 from Word on the Streets Battle Rap League. Go follow them, Watts Word on the Street, Watts Rap League on Instagram and Twitter. And man, like just this card, Bars Are Back 3. Like, these are the guys. These are the fucking, the guys. The guys.
These are their big names.
Yeah. What is it? Gaddafi. Gaddafi is back. I think it's been a while since I saw Gaddafi on the platform.
Yeah.
It might have been versus G Zone. You can't hate me. And
he's not wrong.
He's dope. Facts.
You can't.
He's part of the Axis of Evil with Hitler. Do you know those guys?
I don't know Hitler personally.
You don't know Hitler?
No.
You don't follow him on Twitter?
No. Been a lot of talk about him lately, but he's thinking it might be a different Hitler.
A different Hitler. Oh, yeah. That frustrating. You work so hard to come up with a rat name, and somebody else already has it. So, not even a rapper. Whack.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. Oh,
definitely.
Man.
Definitely, I do not care for Hitler. Hitler, the battle rapper, he's not bad. But the other Hitler, very much opposed.
Yeah. We're talking about the worst human that has literally ever existed.
Number one, it's tough. It's a tough spot to crack. Really, I think many have tried. Zero have succeeded.
Yep.
In being the worst person ever. But Hitler, he's got that number one spot. Hitler is the Wayne Gretzky of evil. He's set records that just they're not going to break that.
Yep.
So that's the end of that. But
yeah, I'd say that's a good spot to end it.
That's a good spot. I don't know if he's been back on the lease since his battle with Joe Vegas. Like, I haven't seen him on the cards or anything like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen any card with Hitler on it. So
yeah, I wonder if there's an issue with that because Gaddafi has been getting fucking bags out here, just working. I guess maybe Gaddafi isn't as well known as an evil guy. If you're thinking about the evilest guys, is he that evil, or was it like?
Well, I think he was pretty evil.
I don't know. I really am ignorant, coming from a place of ignorance here. But we're walking into politics when we should be talking about battle rap. So let me just put a cork in that.
Yeah.
Gaddafi is great performer, very experienced battler, knows how to punch, knows how to get the crowd going, like totally good main event. And yeah, it's like if there was anybody who would translate, I think, who would come over to North America and do well, definitely he's on the list.
I would say so.
Yeah. And U3 is probably another guy. U3 and Fifth are other guys that I think would translate really well. But, you know, they're still at a talent development stage in Africa where, like, you know, you can't know until there's some sort of cultural diffusion that happens with other leagues and other continents. You really don't know where these guys stand. And plus, they don't, you know, when we were talking before about these events, they create them in a way that there isn't really a main event. It's not like a mains and co-mains and here's the undercard. It's like, these are all dope battles. And probably the guy at the top of the card or whatever is going to battle the guy at the bottom of the card at the next event.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way to really, there's no hierarchy, it seems.
Yeah. It's difficult to follow. It almost seems like you know, the maps when you're a detective and you're trying to figure everything out and you've got all the little pieces of string everywhere and you're trying
he battled him, and yeah,
that's what setting up one of the cards is like. Because one point we're all up here and then these people are down here and I can't tell if they did real bad, so that's why they're here, or they did good, so that's why they're here, or what the deal is.
Yeah. Well, this guy's named after Hitler, so is he high or is he low? I don't know. Yeah. You know, it's yeah, it's interesting. But I mean, the footage speaks for itself. You know, when you get to see guys and you see them cook and you know, find your favorites, then you can sort of see build anticipation for these cards that are coming up. But yeah, definitely just excited. I know we talked to Briggsy a bit about it, but excited to see these guys reach other platforms, because this is dope. But it's like watching a small league where all the guys battle each other in like a small town or something like that. And it's like, well, you know, I want to see you on a different stage. I want to see you versus somebody from, you know, even South Africa. If there's some cross-platform work that can be done with those guys.
Yeah,
Conflict. I think it's Conflict Battle League in South Africa. I see them pretty active on Twitter as well. So things are happening. Things are happening in Africa.
Yep. Exciting things.
Yeah. So check them out. I don't know if there's pay-per-view. Is it pay-per-view? I think it's just you gotta go. I think you just you gotta. It's in Lagos, 24 Ijaya Street. Oh yeah, Ijaya Street. You know, I mean, I know it like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
Where did that mole come from? So shouts out to Word on the Streets. Definitely check them out. Subscribe to their YouTube, their Twitter, all that stuff. It's really, really dope. And we'll check back in with them. Maybe we'll get somebody from the show. Maybe Fifth. We can get Fifth on. That would be really dope. And see if he can come on and talk about some shit. And maybe Quadre too. Hey, wouldn't that be dope? Quadre cover the Canadian stuff, and Fifth cover the African stuff. We would just
look at that.
Have tons of guests on. We got
planning on the show while we're live. I love it.
So then the end of the show, we got to talk about it. Battle of the week.
Yes.
It's been like, you know, a month and a half, maybe like 2 months, maybe of Battle of the Week being back. And boy, I missed it. I used to love doing Battle of the Week. It just became too much. I put too much work into it. And now it's still a bit of work, but it's just like, it's great to connect the culture weekly with everything that's going on. You know, all the drops from all the leagues are put on one page, and you can see, hey, you know, this battle has this many comments, this battle has this much engagement. You know, from each league, depending on where you want to go, everybody gets represented, and I like that aspect of it. You know, one week it could be a guy from the UK, next week it could be Africa or New Zealand or whoever else is active in dropping English-speaking battles. But this week, very exciting, because the Bags and Bodies stuff is coming out on YouTube. What?
Blah, 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 blah.
Did not see that coming. Same with Chrome 23.
Yeah.
Drop it on YouTube. Great. You know, ARP is a smart businessman. If there's one thing that I really, really think is underrated about what RBE's done, is they've doubled down on YouTube. When everybody left YouTube, they were like, oh no, actually, we're going to win. We're going to win on YouTube.
everyone's leaving, that leaves more for us then.
Facts. So when you type in rap battles in your YouTube search, then RBE shit comes up, and it's like, yo, that's huge. That's a huge win for them. So I don't know if Bags and Bodies are doing the same model, or if Chrome 23 have realized how valuable YouTube is. I know not financially, I think the return is minimal, but in regards to just attention and battlers care. Like you can be on an app and get a certain amount of votes or whatever, but battlers care about their YouTube stats. And if Verse Tracker was up, that's also integral in the culture, So send your emails to MC War and ask them what the fuck is going on. The Verse Tracker. What do you think?
I don't know what's going on with Verse.
I mean, the Bags and Bodies one. Did you see?
Yeah,
there's been a controversy, right? Like about Bags and Bodies. They were supposed to be all on the app, and ARP mentioned it in the AMA. They were all supposed to drop on an app, and then they were like, "Oh, nobody's buying the app, so we're just going to release them on YouTube."
Yeah, which I think nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, it's very well shot. I feel like every aspect of what you want to see when you watch a battle on YouTube was hit on this drop. It was Katie and Jay
that
guy. And I feel like obviously when you have Ruin Your Day film anything, you can guarantee that the filming is top notch. But on top of that, the way that they had the stage set up, I felt like was very conducive to portraying what you wanted to see. It almost seemed like there was the ground level where there was some fans, and there was the stage level where the battle was with a couple of people behind, but then there was also the third tier next, which it was only a brief step up, but then there was the host, like Hala was there and the others were behind. It just formed a really cool, almost step look. And the crowd was fantastic. Everyone was buying in, right? I mean, when you're posting something that's on TV, you would expect that everyone's going to buy in like that. And it showed in the footage.
Right. This isn't somebody's potato in their backyard getting uploaded to YouTube. This is high quality professional television getting uploaded to YouTube.
Yeah.
So, I hope they kill it. I hope they honestly get the views that they deserve. It's on the Ruin Your Day channel.
I do believe so.
He said as a question.
I do believe so.
Yeah. So like they have subscribers there that are interested in Battlerap. It's not like, you're marketing to a fucking channel that has 0 subscribers or nobody who knows what the fuck you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got legs. We'll see. And then the Chrome 23 one, they dropped a bunch of battles. Or these are all bootlegs. I don't know. I haven't checked. No, they're on YouTube. And yeah, the Chrome 23 tournament, also super exciting.
Yeah.
So cool to see those drops come out. What else do we have? Shots Fired dropped Griffin versus Bucks. Shots Fired is a dope league out of San Diego. If you don't know them, really cool, good people. K Philosophy, Griffin run that league.
Yeah.
And Mike G battles on that. It's like his home league. If I had to say Mike G's home league, I'd say it's Shots Fired. And
there you go.
Yeah, dope people, good vibes. Definitely check that out. Don't Flop dropped is this one of their April Fool's events battles?
Yeah.
Or is it just a one-off? Oh, okay, cool. They had an alliteration battle.
Yes.
Did you see that one?
Yes.
Fuck, that was fun, hey?
It's really cool. Well, we talked about it when the Don't Flop, when that card was announced way back.
Oh, shit, good memory.
And how cool all of these different kinds of battles were playing out. And that it almost seemed like Don't Flop was trying to not take themselves so seriously anymore. They had a couple of actual battles, but then most of them for that event were all fun. Let's try this, let's try that. Yeah. They're marketing to, a more college university type crowd and trying to get people to come through and then mixing in actual battles with it. So you get a vibe of what it really is like. So that was kind of the feel that I remember us talking about it when the card was announced, and it was really fucking cool to see that battle to actually see it. It's one thing to read it on the flyer; it's another thing to actually watch it unfold.
Yeah, totally. And it's such a something that you can hear. It's you don't have to be well versed in battle rap to. You don't have to know the history or know the backstory. It's like this is gonna sound cool. You can listen to this one.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be fun. And Matter is just super underrated. I think probably one of the most underrated UK guys, just in terms of like high level of delivery and performance for sure. But his writing is always really funny and really on point. And like he's a great battle rapper.
Yeah,
the UK, and just really dope to see him still battling when most of the guys from his class have retired. I think like Ogmios. I haven't seen Ogmios in a long time. Love to see him back. Lots of those old don't flop guys. I say old, but they're probably fucking super young. It's like, oh, those old guys, those fucking 31 years old.
Those old guys.
For real. And then Arc versus Koj, which I am in the middle of watching right now. But it's fucking awesome. Damn. Fabulous. Fucking Arc is just so good.
Jesus. Welcome back, Arc.
Holy crap. It's not a fluke.
No.
Koj is good too, man. He's a little stumbly and he knows it. You can see him on Twitter talking about it.
Yeah.
He's just like, he's not 100% locked in. But man, the potential, you can see it.
That's what happens when you write and memorize all your material for 3 rounds, 24 hours before your battle.
Oof, I could not. I have nightmares about that shit.
And so seeing him on Twitter and talking about it, I literally made a comment on his tweet today and said, like, look, you got to treat it like you treat your physical fitness workouts. You fucking big buff bastard. Treat it like that and you'll be good. He's already trying. The team format, we talked about that too, how it's going to do wonders for him when it comes to actually preparing earlier. I think this is his year. He gets that under control. And I think that this is where you're going to see Koj really start to storm through Premier.
Sick. Super exciting. Team stuff, all of that. You're totally right.
And that's another thing. I don't think that this happened last week and we talked about it. Gemini versus Koj got announced.
Oh, right. For the Sythe.
For the Sythe shoddy card.
Shoddy card.
Yeah.
Right. So
Gemini and Koj as the co-main event on that card. And that's also part of the match day. So that's Pride versus Knights.
Oh, shit. That's going to be an official match.
Yeah.
Very cool. Gemini right back in it. Fuck.
Yep.
Amazing. That's the thing. You got the platform. You're going to attract talent.
Yep.
Professionalism, and how you handle the platform. It's just like it's everything when you're talking about bringing good guys into the fold. Very competitive week. Let's see who BattleBot had as the winner of Battle of the Week. BattleBot, take it away.
The winner of Battle of the Week is...
Okay, yeah, I can see it. It's a good week.
BattleBot's just not gonna actually say the word.
he's busy, BattleBot's busy. He's doing AI stuff.
And then he went into an update.
Yeah, he's downloading. He's updating facts. Appreciate your time, BattleBot. Totally good call, by the way. I mean, did he get it wrong? That's a fucking battle of the week, in my opinion. What a great battle.
That's a great battle.
Totally. I thought, KD started it, and I was like, oh, okay, this is the guy that people have been talking about. KD, it's really dope. Raps really well, like classic sort of like aggressive style, but he's got his own unique spin on the wordplay and stuff. I thought it was really dope. Yeah. And then Jay, that guy, was like a totally different style, and it was they complemented each other very well. I thought really cool, great battle, great replay value. Like you said, really well shot. The audience is really good. It's fucking.
Yeah, I think this was the perfect first battle to drop from Bags and Bodies.
Totally. Very much looking forward to the next drops based on this. Go follow them. I mean, subscribe if you're not already subscribed to ruin your day. right? Like, who do you subscribe to? Who do you follow? I don't know. Follow them and subscribe to the people that you already know and are subscribed to. Follow us. Subscribe to us.
Yeah.
Click like.
Yep.
So that's all for this week. Hey, did we call it best show ever?
I think we did call it.
Yeah.
We manifested it, and there it is.
Created our reality. And so thanks everybody for tuning in this week. It was really dope, and we'll see you next year. We are gonna see you.
Taking a little break.
We're gonna take a little break. I need to download my update.
See you next year.
And follow Path social media. You can follow me on social media if you want.
Yeah, follow him too.
Oh, I got lots of subscribers. I'm cool. I mean, extra subscribers. But like and subscribe to the video. Check out our other videos. Check out that ARP AMA. It's so good. It's like possibly better than this video, which is hard to believe. And we'll see you next year.
We had a good year, and we'll see you next year.